So at the end of the Bible, it talks about these nations go to battle, and there's like 10 nations of the East, the 10 kings of the East, and they go to battle in this place called Armageddon. And it's been a common question that people start to ask themselves at some point to say, well, where's America in all this? And I don't know if you want to hear this, but America is not mentioned at all as a world power in the end times. Okay. And so that may shock you or whatever. I'm going to tell you the two main reasons why that probably is, and why that directly relates to what you're seeing on the news and all over social media today. And you can make your own call as to where we are. I'm going to mention to you today how the Four Horsemen, what the Bible calls the Four Horsemen, the spirits of the Four Horsemen, how they're released out into the earth, and they start to go out and to do their work. That it doesn't just all happen in a rush and a flood. I'm going to show you how those four things are all going on today. You can go to any social media site, any media outlet, any media blog, any media news channel, and you will see all four events of the Four Horsemen happening to the T today. Okay. So am I saying we're in the last days or whatever? I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm saying that, you kind of know the times, and I'm going to share with you exactly what is going on there. If you look at like end time events, well, it starts to become pretty clear that like we're getting closer. And in fact, you could say that within us, our lifetime, or our children's lifetime, that we could act 100% be in that realm of seeing the last days, of seeing what the Bible calls the tribulations, the rapture, all those things. And what's funny is, starting in like the 70s, and then definitely in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, this was a really big topic. Okay. In fact, it was a big thing for church growth back then. It was taught in pastor conferences, and I attended them. I saw it, and I saw booklets and stuff on this. If you want to go about church growth, okay, like if your church needs a spike in revenue, you need to get more butts and seats. We'll do a 4-day series or a 4 weekends in a row talking about the end times and heaven and hell, and the book of Revelations, and you'll get all these people to start sticking around, paying their tithe, and it'll increase your revenue. And so it's kind of a hilarious thing, but that is true. So it was like every pastor back then was like an expert at end times events, and then it just went away. Then it just became more about like the Joel Osteen and so anyway, it became more about like what it is now. And it's more about like the influencer pastor, and the pastor who travels around and speaks and writes books and lives in mansions and stuff. And so anyway, but what's crazy is now you're actually seeing this stuff. And you would think that every single week pastors will be talking about this, and they're not. Okay, so let me tell you two reasons why I think are very strong of why America is not mentioned. Okay, there's no doubt that the reason we're not mentioned is because we don't exist. At the end, we are not a superpower in the end. So that should be a wake-up call to every single one of you. That I'm not saying we should let America collapse, or some people say, oh well, America's just going to collapse. Well, it doesn't have to be that way, dude. You could delay, and there's plenty of things in the Bible like this where you can delay wrath or judgment or whatever hundreds of years. What I'm saying? It depends on you and how you manage it. And so anyway, and I could talk about predestination, all that kind of stuff, but predestination is something that God knows, but people have full autonomy in what we are going to do. Now, God foresees like what choices we're going to make, but it is still our choices. That is what predestination is. That's how you would accurately explain it. And so here's the things that I have thought through. And I think there's no doubt in my mind, there's two main reasons why we are not around. The first thing you have to have a perspective of before I go into these two is we are the most dominant, undisputed champion of the world history, America. If you look at us economically, entrepreneurship, spirituality, freedom, laws, growth, rate of increase of education, just everything, development, technology, whatever. And I know we're not like leading in every single thing in the world right now, and everybody wants to point to like the 2 or 3 things we're not as good at or whatever. But when you look at where we came from in only a couple hundred years, we've put this thing together. America is unbelievable. And so how would we not be right in smack dab in the middle of end time events? And I'm telling you, it is because we fall. America falls, which is crazy. Like, is there another country you should move to or think about? Like, those are the kind of things that I am strategizing about right now. Like, is there a better country, a safer country, a more free country in 10 years from now? As I'm fighting for America and for the red, white, and blue, like, I'm not stupid as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like that's not going to happen for a while for various reasons, which will be a whole nother video. I won't go into it here, but and I think we have some time. We definitely have number of decades for sure of continued prosperity here in America, and if we do it right, that could be hundreds of years. So, but it's all about what we do, and if the righteous will stand up and say something. Right now, very few righteous people will say something. They just crumble anytime the government says something. They're like, oh, okay, I need that. I guess I need this. I need to put that in my body. The people don't even have any idea what they're doing. And it's sad because people, history shows that people would rather be told what to do. And this is known throughout historians, throughout philosophers. They talk about this, that it's just a sad thing. Like, most people would rather be told what to do. And I hope you're not those people who are watching this channel, because I'm trying to speak to people who have a higher level of thinking. So, okay, let me tell you the 2 things that I think of why America goes down. Number one, we go down because of some crazy, stupid, natural, not natural, but disaster, something like nukes or war. Something crazy happens where we are devastated, and it causes tremendous amount of collapse. We're taken over. Or we're one country that's just out here struggling, man, just struggling big time. Maybe at that point you run to Canada or you run to Mexico. Worst case, like, what I'm saying, like, who knows? But there's that much fallout here after some type of nuclear event or some type of massive, grid down event. And a lot of people die, and people, go from, wearing their Gucci and their Chanel and all this bull crap to, thinking about, their home and blah, blah, blah. And they don't even know how to clean water. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those people are toast. And so that's one scenario. Some type of massive, massive disaster happens. Okay. Number 2, we have a massive economic collapse. So it's not war driven. We just have an economic collapse where, our economy collapses, the dollar collapses, our stocks crash, our businesses have so much debt that they just all go out of business. They start being called zombie companies. Our military becomes gutted. Our police departments become gutted. Our men become feminized. We lose track of the American dream. And we basically, as a nation, we lose track of the heart of the country. And, guys, all nations rise and fall. And by the way, everything I just said, including the nuke thing, all those things are strongly on the table now. Okay. So if you were thinking of leaving this video, you should listen to what I'm, and consider in some way what I'm saying here, and take it back and think and pray about it. All nations fall, guys. Okay. We've been around 250 years, Babylon, 80 years, Persians. Okay. You think of how mighty the Persians were. They were only around 200 years. They were around less than America. Okay. The mighty Greece, 250 years, Rome, 900 years. Okay. Can we beat Rome? We're not even there, guys. We're not even there. Now, we are much more advanced than Rome. We've brought about much more prosperity than Rome, but militarily, they dominated for 900 years. No one dominated as much as Rome. And so anyway, guys, all nations rise and fall. We are where we are, and it is a crazy place. It's interesting to me that we are the only country that started with deeply spiritual roots in our founding documents. Us and Israel were the only 2, and we just happen to be kind of related, so to speak, right? Like, based on the Bible. And so it is a crazy thing to think about, but it is true. if you are the type of person who prepares, okay, the prepper community in the Mormon church is unbelievable. These guys are just on fire, and they should be. I think all Christians should be. If you're not preparing for shortages, for things to go south, what like all the signs are there. All the signs are there, guys. Look at the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen, the first horse is a horse of worldwide governance. Look at WeForum, look at Davos. Just look at that. Look at what they're doing. Okay. Look at IMF. Look at these institutes out there. Okay. So that's the first horse. Okay. He goes around, starts spreading this doctrine of world governance, world currency. Okay. World currency. Well, what do you think? They talked 30% of their time at the last Davos, the last WeForum meeting. Digital world currency. Okay. Digital world cryptocurrency. Okay. The second horseman is a horseman of war and lawlessness. Okay. Look at what's going on. Look at, are we headed into World War III? Look at all the lawlessness happening in America, things like that. Okay. The third one is the horseman of pandemics and diseases. Okay. Hello. Okay. I mean, this pandemic thing is never ending. It's not going to end, guys. Okay. That's what I'm saying. World governance is not going to end. Wars and lawlessness is not going to end. Pandemics and diseases are not going to end. And the fourth one is the horseman of inflation and shortages. Hello. So take it for what you will, guys. Okay. And I'm going to loop this back to the very beginning. Why is every pastor not talking about this right now, every single weekend, and saying, hey, we need to be prepared for this, guys. We need to be prepared to push this stuff back. We need to be focusing on those four things, on how do we impact those four areas. That is what a strategic senior executive CEO would do. We would look at the most high level things impacting the business or impacting our culture as Christians or whatever, and our mission statement. What are the things pushing back against us, and how do we go about being the influencer there? How do we be the enforcer and not just the reactor and the pacifist? And a lot of people say, well, Christians are raptured. I was watching that in the comments the other day. This was about a month ago, but Christians are raptured. Well, here's the thing, guys. The word rapture is hard to find in the Bible, just like the word Armageddon. It's very hard. There's only mentioned one time. It's not even mentioned. It's the word is Megiddo or Megiddo. Okay, and it's translated into Armageddon. But what I'm saying is these are not major themes in the Bible. Okay. The rapture is not a major theme in the Bible. It's not, that word is not in the Bible. Okay. And people say, oh, well, Moses, so-and-so, Noah didn't go through, this, and Lot, Abraham was able to save Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah, and, God doesn't punish his own people. Well, dude, God punishes his own people a whole lot, dude. They went through a whole bunch of tribulations in the Old Testament. God, in the New Testament, they were all killed. Okay. And also Jesus said, in this world, you will have tribulations. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying I could do it. Trust me, I pray and hope that pre-trib is the way. I pray and hope, but also I prepare just in case it's not, because I have 4 children in this world and I don't want them to be unprepared. And I know that if that time comes, it is not going to be nice people. You're not going to have good, logical debates where common sense is going to rule. Okay. And so, do I want my children making a decision on, starving to death, literally starving to death, or taking the mark of the beast? You know what I'm saying? Like how Christians would survive that scenario would be to go primitive, where they're not connected, they're off the grid, they are self-sustaining, they're self-reliant. So the idea that when you have plenty, that you wouldn't prepare for years of having famine, like Moses or like Joseph did, or like Noah. Noah. A lot of people are like, well, Noah, God didn't bring his wrath on Noah. Yeah, but Noah didn't just sit around. Noah put his butt to work. And if I'm remembering the story correctly, it took him 100 years to build that ark. Okay. It wasn't like he built it in a month. Think about how the dedication you had to have back then, okay, to work that long on a project. Okay. Some of us can't focus for 2 hours, let alone, 100 years. And so, but anyway, so if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I have a channel called Texas Digital Outdoors. You should subscribe to that channel because I'm sharing every single day there about preparedness and just simple things you can do. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have, but just simple things you can do. Like starting to calculate how much food you would need to survive a month or a year or whatever, based on how many calories you need, based on how many people you have in your house, like really practical things that you can go out and do. Not just like, most prepper channels, like honestly, 95% of prepper channels on YouTube are good, well-meaning people who know a lot of skills, a lot of prepper skills, survival skills, but they don't actually know how to take somebody who is kind of, clueless and just starting out, and how to ease them in the most economical way. They're going to have you running around buying all kinds of stuff, spending money on stuff. And sooner or later, it's like, yeah, you got like a life straw, you got a tent, but and you got like cans of food, but you're going to die because you don't have clean water. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like stuff like that. Like, like you don't have a well-rounded kit, and also your skills are just not very well-rounded. So that's what we're doing. Texas Digital Outdoors is trying to prepare people in a practical way. So anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to share. You guys started the topic and I wanted to respond to it. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you. Talk to you every single day, guys. Be here. Check the news feed. I'll be here doing videos every day. So you guys let me know. Talk to you soon.